I am Sharlan. I'm with Realty One Group. I'm a local realtor here in the Greenville area, and this is
Adam Brooks over at Benchmark Mortgage.
all right. So we get together once a month to try to give a more overall picture of what's going on our market. I can say more of what's going on with the homes, and Adam can tell you more of what's going on with the financing. Right. So it's sort of a natural collaboration of us coming together. So what we look at is the stats from February, because that's what's available now, right?
Right.
And what I'm seeing in the Five Forks area for us is that our new listings are down 39%. So whatever we had last year in February, we've got 39% less than then. So year over year there. And our median price is actually up over 20%, which means you're getting more for the home, but there's not enough homes on the market.
Right.
So you were sharing with me earlier about people putting in offers and trying to get financed for over asking price. So tell us a little bit about that process and how that works for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever you have a rapidly appreciating market like we're in right now, and you've got a really tight or low inventory, you'll see things get bid up, lots of multiple offers coming in. And so one of the ways to win those wars, obviously, is if you have the financing ability is to go over the asking price. And while that makes for a strong offer, if the appraisal comes in low, well, then suddenly you're in a little bit of a predicament, because you can either renegotiate the price down to the appraisal, or if there's cash buyers involved, they may say, we'll pay over the appraised value. And that's fine to do if you're confident in the value of the home, but you do have to have the cash, because you can only finance the lower of the purchase price or the appraisal. So if you've got an 80% conventional deal, and you're trying to finance 80%, well, it's 80% of whichever one's lower. If it's $300,000 and you put in an offer for $325,000, you just added $25,000 to your closing costs.
You're right, to their own closing costs out of their own pocket.
Exactly.
That's what I'm understanding, right?
Yes, yep.
So how often are you seeing that right now?
It's getting a lot more common.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, I think, if not all of the deals I'm working on right now, most of them are in that situation where you're going over.
So basically what's being reported, it's not fake news, it's real news. It's happening right here.
Right.
So what I found was for our area, there's about 56% conventional mortgage rates going on right now. Is that also sort of what you're seeing?
Yeah, that's what we're seeing. Mostly conventional. Those are typically the strongest offers if you qualify for conventional financing. But I would like to add a little nuance to that, Sharlan, because sometimes I've talked to realtors and they want me to do whatever it takes to get a conventional offer.
Sure.
However, an FHA offer is better for some for some borrowers, and the reason why is because the FHA guidelines are a little bit more lenient.
Okay.
And your PMI is going to be a little bit lower.
Okay, so when you say lenient, what do you mean exactly?
So with a conventional deal, you can go down as low as 620 in your credit score.
Okay.
But that's not a real conventional deal. Like, it can be called conventional, but your pricing and everything goes terrible. So you're going to pay a much higher interest rate, much higher private mortgage insurance, things like that. So whereas with the FHA, you can go down to 620 as well, but they're more generous on the pricing. So you might get
away from the private mortgage insurance, right?
It'll go down.
So
you'll still have, now the difference, and one of the benefits of conventional is there's no private mortgage insurance after you get to 80% LTV.
Okay.
With FHA, you're going to have it for the life of the loan unless you refinance.
Oh, okay.
So, but it still may make more sense for a borrower because they're going to be able to qualify for more. The debt-to-income ratios are more lenient on FHA.
Okay.
So where you have a deal that could be forced into conventional, if you went FHA, the deal's going to run much smoother. And that's important to your borrower and to the realtor, because you want to close on time and you don't want a lot of hiccups.
Yes.
All the additional things that come with having a conventional offer.
Because we all know that there's speed bumps through this process, if you will. Not that they're going to go badly, but we go over them just nice and smooth, right? We hit that mark and then we go to the next one until we get to the closing.
Right.
So now that you said something about buying, so the buying power is actually going down right now. Right. And the reason that I see it going down is because interest rates keep going up.
That's right.
So the chart that I put out today on my Instagram was that the interest rates for from 360,000 to 400,000. I have all the charts for anything in between, or not in between, but lower or higher, going down to a 2.75. Each time you go up 0.25%, it looks like they're losing about $10,000. Is that what you guys are seeing?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing. So you've got two things that are working at the same time to reduce buyers' power, and that is you've got interest rates creeping up, and you've got appraised values going up.
Okay.
Or you've got the market, things being listed at higher prices. So
absolutely, over 20% more than it was last year in the same house, same price, right?
Exactly. So you haven't gained any square footage or anything. Now you're paying more for the money. And now it's a great time to be a seller if you're looking to, if you've got a place to go. Because some people say, "Oh, I'd love to sell my house," but they want to stay in Greenville, and any gains they would make on the sale, they're going to lose by putting it down on the next house.
Possibly, but they could gain money if their interest rate was high in the house that they currently own.
That's true.
So that they're making that equity work for them at a very low risk because it's in real estate.
Right.
So those are the pluses to that.
Yeah.
And we have other ways of looking for homes too. So even though they're not on the market, we might still be able to find you a home.
Right.
So let's just take this for instance. If someone was looking for a $360,000 home, and say they qualified for $380,000, and they needed to go over asking price, like you were talking about, in order to win what's happening in this bidding war.
Right.
They, tell us a little bit about the money that they have to put down versus, how it's going to go up, via interest rate. Because if they wait, I think we all in the real estate industry feel like the rates are going to keep inching up a little bit, even through the summertime. So people are losing that buying power because they don't have as much that they can finance because they're not going to qualify for as much.
Right.
So why is it that they won't qualify for as much with the interest rate going up?
Well, with the interest rate going up, now you've got to look at their payments going up, right?
Okay.
As you're showing your
I can sort of hold this up.
Your
Y'all
principal and
zoom in on
interest payments,
Yeah.
they're going to go up. If you look at this, I guess I just showed the camera here.
That's fine.
If you go from a $400,000 house to a $390,000 house, but your interest rate increases, 0.25 point, well, now you're making the same principal and interest payment.
Right.
So when you look at your debt to income ratio, probably the biggest source of most people's debt is their principal and interest payment on their mortgage.
Absolutely.
So if you qualify for 380, it would probably be smart to look at houses that are in the 370 or 360 range.
Right, just a little bit below that. That way, in case you get into a bidding war, you know that you have that power to buy.
Right. You can go over that asking.
You're setting yourself up for success.
Right. And you want to make sure that you have the cash on hand to finance that difference if it goes above appraised value.
Absolutely. Well, do you have anything to add today? This is what I wanted to talk about, just sort of how interest rates are going up and the crazy prices we have and low inventory.
Yeah.
What would you suggest for anybody who is wanting to buy? If they thought they were going to wait till the spring, and I know this is March and it's spring, but people sort of think April, May when school starts getting out, even though school getting out.
Right.
I mean, everything's so different. What would you suggest someone, if they wanted to buy then? Would you say that they should buy now, or would you think that they should wait?
I would definitely recommend, if you've got everything else in line, if you've got your cash reserves in place, you've got your credit score where you want it to be, then I would recommend buying now. And the reason why is because these interest rates are creeping up and they're anticipated to continue to move in that direction. Obviously, with inventory being so tight, you do need to realize that you're going to have to probably act fairly quickly in order to secure a deal. But something else I wanted to address to buyers who maybe they're first-time home buyers, or maybe they just haven't bought in a market like this.
Okay.
And that is, just because you purchase something over appraised value, that doesn't necessarily mean that the value isn't there, that you're jumping into a negative equity situation like we talked about. And the reason why I say that is because the inventory is so tight and there's so few comps for appraisers to use. After the 2008 financial crisis, the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform Act put a lot of restrictions on how they can value things.
Yes.
And so they want to be careful not to overvalue.
That's right.
Because they could get in a lot of hot water or lose their license. So they have to be conservative. They have to use comps of recent sales.
They sure do.
And if you're in a neighborhood where there haven't been much sales because there's not a lot of inventory, well then they might have trouble getting to that value. So
But
you
they
have to
can
look
go
at
out to a 2-mile radius, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
So it's not just your neighborhood.
Right.
There is a 2-mile radius, and that can be a lot bigger than what you think.
Yeah.
Especially if you're surrounded by a lot of homes.
Yeah, the more densely populated
Yeah.
area is, the better. And something else that you could have, if your appraisal came in low, you can have your realtor like Sharlan. She would be able to help you if you reviewed the appraisal and you say, hey, is this really an accurate reflection? If you knew of some comps, you say, I think these are better comparables
Right. You
of
can
the
always
area.
go back.
You can always rebut the appraisal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, super. Next month, we're going to be going on and talking about spring market and the additional inventory and what that means for sellers. So thank you guys for your time today. Again, I'm Sharlan with Realty One.
And I'm Adam Brooks with Benchmark Mortgage.
Thank you. Next time.